Do you ever wonder what your agency counsel is thinking when they attend public meetings? My name's Alexandra Barnhill, and I'm a partner at the law firm of Burke, Williams, and Sorensen. I've attended hundreds of public agency meetings as general counsel for cities and special districts across California. And from where I sit in the dais, I've had a first-class ticket to witness boardroom dynamics. I've seen board meetings that run like well-oiled machines, and I've seen board meetings that have spun out of control. This has given me a unique perspective on the essential building blocks of effective boards. This presentation is aimed at new board members, which means congratulations are in order. Your constituents and peers have selected you as a leader of their government agency. It likely took considerable effort on your part to earn this title. Now what? What do you do with this power? As a decision maker, your actions are now going to personally affect your neighbors' properties and quality of life. How can you use your influence to carry out your vision while still meeting the goals of the public and your agency's mission? This presentation will educate you to help you govern effectively. In the case of your public agency, that means that the public is relying on you to have a solid ethical framework to assist in making tough decisions that are going to affect them. There's an unwritten rule that every public servant is expected to uphold certain public values. These include trustworthiness, responsibility, fairness, and civility. Your job as a public servant is going to be evaluated based on your ability to satisfy these values. And this is your opportunity to help foster a culture of ethics in your agency. One of the best ways to learn how to be an effective public servant is to learn from others' mistakes. Many of you have probably witnessed firsthand, like I have, board meetings that have gone wrong. This slide shows a still from a YouTube video from the Rockland, Maine City Council meeting, which demonstrates how not to foster a culture of ethics. And this councilwoman is caught by surprise when a closed session item is added late to an agenda. She asks why this was added and receives a hostile response from the mayor, who is worried that she's implying that this was added without legal authority. The councilwoman admits that the rules might allow the addition of the closed session, but she's arguing that the public deserves and expects more notice. The mayor and the councilwoman then begin debating, and their debate then leads into interrupting one another until the mayor eventually takes off his hat and throws it at the councilwoman, prompting her to stomp out of the room. So what went wrong? They both had a legitimate basis for their position. She was seeking transparency, and the mayor was seeking efficiency in carrying out the agency's business. But their communication showed that they didn't trust or respect one another. So they resorted to unprofessional behavior. And when the agency's leaders behave that way, the agency's reputation was damaged, and the public loses trust and respect as well. In my experience, this is the way that you create a new gadfly, you attract unwanted media attention, and you start receiving unsolicited board requests for Brown Act compliance and Public Records Act requests. So this is something that you're going to want to avoid. So how can you avoid making these same mistakes? You need to apply the public service ethics that we talked about before. The first ethic is trustworthiness. Some examples of how an official can show they're trustworthy include following the agency's rules and protocols, taking positions that are backed by facts, not inferences, and doing what's best for the public, not for yourself. When you're trustworthy, people may question your decisions or disagree with them, but they will not doubt your motives. As a public official, what could you do in order to earn the public's trust? One opportunity that I come across is when an official has the opportunity to decide whether or not to maintain the confidentiality of closed session and other private information. The next ethic is responsibility. Some examples of how an official can show they're responsible include doing your homework before you attend a meeting and managing expectations by making promises that you can keep. As an official, what could you do to be responsible to the public? An opportunity that I sometimes see officials take advantage of is taking that extra time to explain why they're making a decision, identifying the specific facts and policies that you're relying on in the record, and then describing the analysis to explain how you reached the conclusion that you did, rather than just saying you're voting something up or voting something down. It seems simple, but it's usually not put into practice. The next ethic is fairness. Some examples of how an official can show they are fair include focusing on the issue's merits rather than focusing on personalities or problems, and being consistent when you apply an agency's policies. As a public official, what could you do to show fairness to the public? One opportunity is to treat like applications alike. So if an application comes in that's similar, it should have similar results to what you've done in the past. When I see a lot of finger pointing in public agencies, it's because they got treated differently than their neighbor. And if there is a reason to treat this application differently, even though it might look on its face that it's the same, it's your job as a public official to explain what that difference is so that the public can understand. Otherwise, the public might assume that you're being biased. The last ethic is civility. Some examples of being civil include setting a tone in the boardroom that's compassionate, which means taking the time to actually listen to the public who showed up and commented or wrote in, and ask questions. Treat everyone respectfully, even if you disagree with their position, and allow different perspectives to be heard. As an official, what can you do to show civility? One opportunity that I think is often overlooked is controlling the public when there's public comment and a citizen is speaking.